Throw the face in there. Get rid of that one. Here we go. We're live. We're live. Last couple of days, not here. Not here. Well, wasn't here. What can I tell you? There's a big project working on. Project working on very, very early stage. Don't want to really go into any kind of details with it. Early stage. Very exciting. Very exciting and very consistent with the long term. It's an interesting one. It's very consistent with the long term goal here, and that really is getting in front of students, getting in front of our high school, maybe junior high school, but high school is the main focus. Getting in front of our high school students and having them really see, really truly see what they're capable of doing, and giving them the tools in order to do it. And what are those tools? I'm not showing up with a truckload of tools or anything like that, physical tools, wrenches, screwdrivers, things like that. That's not really it. I personally, my side of this whole thing is I want to be able to give those students the tools that they need to see themselves having the potential, at least the potential, to achieve what they're capable of achieving. And I know that sounds, I need to frame that in a little bit more, create that elevator pitch a little bit more concise. What is a tool, potential? Come on, I mean, this is sound, as a friend of mine, like, it's like hokey. It's like, it's not real. It's not real. Well, here's what is real. Here's what I think is absolutely positively real, is we are here for a reason. We're here for some reason. We're all different, without a doubt. We're all different. We grow up in different places. We live in different countries, different counties, different towns, different streets in some places. You live in Manhattan, you live on a different street, it's like a whole different world. Born to different parents that met, who knows how they met? I mean, sometimes it's, wow, it was an odd thing that had happened. It was all just a weird set of circumstances. It was, I don't know, maybe it was meant to be. There's so many variables, so many unbelievable, unforeseen, can't be planned variables that go into making us us. That's a fact. Every little personality trait we have, every talent that we have comes from someplace. Comes from someplace. You could put a computer in front of me and ask me how it works, and I don't have a clue. I could tell you some general things, but I don't know. I find that all fascinating. You could put other things in front of me, and I could see it. Different people have different skill sets, without a doubt. Even those that are looking to achieve the same thing see their process of doing that in a different way. How many years does it take to get to that point? Quite a few. So my aim on all of this, on everything I'm trying to get done there, Mike, good afternoon to you. My aim on all this stuff is to get to the youth, the younger generation, the high school students. It's not so much as to impart knowledge. That's not really it. It's to make them think. Make them think. Look, they're all different. They all have different skills. They all have different things. They all have different purposes. They all have different things that get them excited. They're all different reasons why they have an interest in something. But what did he do with that? That's the question. That's really what I'm after. So I want to be in front of these students wherever possible and have them think about what it is that they like to do, that they're naturally good at doing it. And I probably repeat myself many times with this thought process in there. Because that's the essence of it. That's the essence of it. You want to take golfers, Tiger Woods. Why did Tiger Woods become such a great golfer? He's been golfing since he was in single digits. Forever, it was a part of it. The Williams sisters, same thing. Their father got them on the tennis court super early. Probably had the two girls competing against each other time and time and time again. That probably went into the whole thing about the idea of winning, competing, and then being nice afterwards. It's not that, hey, I beat you, I'm better than you. It's, hey, I beat you. I at that moment, we're playing a game. It's super competitive. See that in many sports, not all the time. Many sports, it's like, wow, they're going head to head, head to head, head to head, right? And then when it's over, they're back to being, I don't know, friends. That might be a bit of an overstatement, but congenial with each other, understanding that a game is a game, the contest is a contest, especially if you're getting paid for it, and then it's gone. But how did they get to that level? Years and years and years of doing it. There has to be some enjoyment in there. Are they having a fun time practicing all the time? Did Rocky enjoy all those hours training with his coach in the movie, chasing that chicken around and doing the rest of that stuff? No. Moments of glory on the training side of it? Absolutely. Got a little carried away with one of those movies, but I thought he was a movie star doing the whole thing. But man, when he was out in the street and those kids running down the street with him, heck, that scene was actually, I thought it was actually one aspect of it was actually a real scene. The fruit guy threw an apple at him. That was not planned. That just was. He caught it, kept on going. Man, that's moments of glory. That's beautiful things that happen when we're doing what we should be doing, and we're doing it. We're working hard at it. We're training at it. We know we have to embrace the suck, as somebody says, and then continue on, and then have those moments of glory. And that's what keeps you going. But what gets you started? What gets you started? What got you started? What was it? What was it? Was it following in the family footsteps and you went along with it? And you found it exciting? And bam, you were in on it. Otherwise, if you follow in the family footsteps and you don't find it exciting, you just going along, get along. That's not really it. So that's not really it. So if you speak to one of these high school students, oh yeah, the family business is whatever. And if they're not showing excitement about that family business, that's not the right path. Just because it's a multi-generational family doesn't mean that it has to continue on. It has to continue on if that person is super charged about it. So the whole goal when we speak to these students is to get them to think about what it is that they really want to do. What it is that they're just naturally good at. It could be some crazy hobby. Look, how many people make a living playing tennis, golf, football, driving a race car? So few. So few. We had that conversation yesterday. I had a conversation yesterday with somebody else about that. It's like, oh, yeah, if you're in X industry, you're going to make a lot of money. Not true. If you're in X industry, you can make a lot of money. If you're in many industries, you can make a lot of money. If you're in virtually any industry, you can absolutely achieve success. And maybe money is not success and success is not money. There's a difference. There's a difference that depends upon what you're after. Definitely depends upon what you're after. I was at the synagogue this morning, the rabbi's words at the end, actually had to do with that. There's 4 different portions, 4 different kinds of people in this world, and the world needs 4 different kinds of people from that aspect of it. But we need different people that see success as something that's different. We need people that are just born leaders. Born leaders and leaders of many people, because we have many people who want to be followers. They want to be supporters. Let's even put it that way. It's not even so much as a follower, but a supporter. Talk about the entrepreneur. Is there a difference? Absolutely. Are both people creative? Absolutely. And do both people have the capabilities to be creative the same way? Absolutely not. Specifically, what we're talking about there is being an entrepreneur versus an intrapreneur. And I'll equate this down to that high school student. Here's the difference. High school student that's an entrepreneur wants to start a club, finds out that there's um, wants to start a club, take the students and go and help people that are elderly, have a tough time getting around, and wants to help them with yard work. But wants to start a club. High school heroes for honored elderly people. How's that for a name of a group? Maybe a little long, or whatever. Wants to start that group, build up a following, goes around, hands out flyers throughout the entire high school. Join us. We're out there. We're going to do what you would want someone to do for your grandmother, your grandfather. And we're going to start a club, and we want you to be a part of it. Weekends, whatever the deal is that they want to do, all equipment supplied. We're going to, that person's going to take care of it. Just wants to get people out there. That is an entrepreneur, willing to take hold of the whole project and put everything together. Willing to go out and get the people, get that flyer put together, they figure out where to go and whose homes to go and whose places to go help out with the yard work. And get the people together, the rakes together, the transportation if there's an issue together. That person is an entrepreneur, sees that as a challenge, wants to make that happen. That, my friends, is an entrepreneur. Starting a new project, starting a new company if we're a little bit older and in that world and in the business world. What would be an intrapreneur? Well, an entrepreneur turns around to his friend, her friend, say, look, this is what I want to do. I need somebody who can make it happen. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to tell everybody they should come along and they should be a part of this whole thing. And I'm going to get all the rakes. We're going to get all the rakes together. We're going to go figure out whose homes to go to. We're going to do all of this stuff. But I need someone to actually make it work. I need someone to organize it. That, my friends, is an intrapreneur, because now the structure is there. The framework is there. But they want to be part of something in support of that vision. That's an intrapreneur. I want to equate that in the business world. That's the difference between starting your own company and being an employee. But being a motivated employee. And not just mean an employee that's looking for a paycheck. Not just 9 to 5. Watch this. Another generation will never say, what is a 9 to 5 job? Who knows? But someone who goes to work and works their shift, inside of a manufacturing facility or some other place. Because those manufacturing facilities at other places, they need visionaries in there as well. I was watching a video earlier today, and it was someone doing manufacturing. I didn't even know exactly what he was fixing, to tell you the truth, but it was all metal. It needed to be honed. It was a piston that broke, a huge thing. I was talking like big pieces of equipment here. And the weld of a part of the piston had to be shaved out. The part that went into the metal flywheel, called the shaft that went into the flywheel, had to be taken out. He did, pulled it out, shaved it out, put all those on, using all kinds of equipment, had to heat up the metal in order to make it expand a little bit and to get it out, cut through the weld, and then rethread the whole thing, put the whole thing together. It's like, something? That's not an assembly line job, my friends. That person that figured out how to do it, how to take out that broken piece of metal, the piston that went into that flywheel, and how to make that work, and how to make a better weld on the whole thing. And that in the end, he figured out a way to do this where if it had to be replaced again, that it would have been easier for the next person to make any adjustments with it. You think that takes skill? Is that someone who just follows? Is that someone who just does it the way it's always been done before? No. See, both of those parties are creative thinkers. One thinks very far out of the box and wants to create something from scratch. Takes a unique person to do that. Another person will take that box that gets created, takes that vision that got thought of by the entrepreneur, and makes it doable and deals with whatever issues that might come up, and adds their own level of creativity to fix a problem, to create a solution. And I tell you, I honestly believe that that every student, every student has the capability of much more than we were just doing in school. Look, if every student is just going through tests to take tests, to learn about tests, and to be good at taking tests, there's a lot of conformity that's going on there. And if it's all groupthink, I don't really think that's great either. Some of it has to happen. Yeah, absolutely. We all learn math. We all learn English. We all learn writing skills. We should focus on writing skills. Typing skills is another thing. I'd love to see typing. I think typing should go back into classes. I wish I paid attention when I took typing back in a long time ago. It was junior high school, by the way. I think it was 8th grade. Not sure there, but I remember what the classroom was. I think I got up to about 32 words a minute. Not good. If I knew then what I knew now, I would have paid a lot more attention to that class rather than like, I can't believe I'm taking typing. Why am I doing this thing? Somebody had a vision in that school to do that and to offer that class. Somebody did. Long time ago. But every student in every one of these junior highs and high schools, regardless of where these schools are, it's got nothing to do with anything like that, of communities, whatever. These students, if given the right tools, if truly given the right tools, can achieve so much more. But what they need to be taught, what they need to be shown, and what they need to be shown by you, and hopefully by this project just as well, is that things change. Things always change. Products change. The strategy on a team changes. Look, the way we play football today is quite a bit different than the way they played football 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. On the automotive side of things, it's unbelievable the changes that have taken place in the last 100 years. I wonder what's going to take place over the next 100 years. But who's going to push us forward? Is it a politician that pushes us forward? Is it some legislature document that says something that's going to push us forward? There's a push for more and more electric vehicles. Okay, I tend to agree with that. Should we have more electric vehicles? Should we be better for the environment with our automotive industry? Let's call it our propulsion industry, because it's going to filter through on our lawnmowers, our leaf blowers, motorboats. There's even a plane that's solar powered right now. Different kinds of fuel, all the rest of that stuff. Our politicians, and I'm going to say politicians here, Yeah, I use the word politicians and elected officials, but this time we're going to use the word politicians. But our politicians, if they write these policies about, oh, in another, what is it, California, what, 2035? I forget what the percentage is, but in X amount of years, they want to have, they're legislating X amount of electric vehicles on the road and leave it at that. Where do we go? How does it happen? We snap our fingers, magic, it makes it happen? That's not it. That's not it. There has to be somebody that actually makes that happen. That actually, and I'll say it, puts the rubber to the road. But that actually has an idea as to how to do that, how to realistically do it. Oh, there was one elected official, I'm sorry, one politician, let me get that one right. They came up with this crazy idea. Crazy idea. But you want to know something? That person, I don't want to mention the name. There you go, Cap. Going to the politics. But that person came up with this crazy idea. And I'm thinking, that's a crazy idea. But it wouldn't have been such a crazy idea if it was framed a little differently. What if we challenged our high school students or our college students with the challenge of creating a totally environmentally sound community? Totally. What if we tried that? What do you think would happen? We would learn something without a doubt. We would make mistakes without a doubt. It would fail. I don't know. Maybe it would succeed. But there's a start. There's a start with it. But here's the start. It's not so much as the project. It's those students. Because here's what you're going to start with them. You're going to start with them thinking. They're going to think like entrepreneurs, not entrepreneurs like that one, because they have the framework of whatever that issue is. This is what we want to see happen. This is the constraints. This is what it is. How do we make it a reality? And you want to know something? I tend to think those students would have a better shot at making it into a reality than someone who's been in the business for 30 or 40 years. Look, I've been in a certain industry for that amount of years. Do I look at things differently than somebody new coming into it? Without a doubt. They don't know the ground rules. Or maybe it is I'm stuck in the old ground rules. So a student looking at something like that, there's no barrier to what's right or wrong because it's all new. That's it. That is what is going to make those ideas of a more electric society a reality. Look, I had a problem with the electric cars down in Florida with the flooding, right? The salt water. That was a big experiment. That was a lot of money, in those cars that got ruined, burst into flames from that salt water. But what if some student was given a car and say, hey, go figure out what could go wrong, not what could go right, but go figure out what could go wrong, and give them no guidelines? How exciting could that be? This goes to the whole idea of why I think that there's this drag strip auto racing is so important. It's so important for it to be available to those that are not race car drivers, those that are not, driving fancy sponsored cars, but something that's much more homegrown. I love the homegrown aspect of it. And here's why. Because if more and more of the schools, high schools that are in our area have the ability through their STEM programs or automotive programs to build vehicles, to build cars that are not necessarily street legal, safe, that's number one, but to build cars that are different propulsion systems, different ways of moving that car down the road, different ways of adding strength and maybe reducing weight, and then bringing it out to a racetrack a place where they could legally drive that car and have a licensed driver do it. And again, all safety regulations, put into place, all safety procedures that we could possibly put into place, and then let those kids have at it. I think that would be unbelievable. How small of an engine can you put into a car, a full-size car, where it's got the same amount of pickup and strength and everything like that that a full-size car has? What weight could be taken out of a car today, or what weight could be taken out of a car today where the safety features are just as safe, and the car is just as safe on any collision? Wouldn't it be interesting to see that kind of research going on? Wouldn't it be interesting, though, to see students doing that? And here's what's going to happen with it. Those students are going to learn the most important thing is that they're capable of a lot more than anything they may have imagined, because they wouldn't have imagined this stuff until they started doing something. So we need to give those kids, our high school students, college students, maybe junior high school students, the ability to explore and to think, to go within themselves and see what it is that they are naturally good at doing. And if they don't really know, give them the tools that are surrounding us by different programs inside of these schools, these high schools, where they can experiment and go and try different things. And there's so many possibilities with it. And that's the project. That's the big project. And since I don't really build anything, I'm trying to hang out with a lot of people that actually do build stuff, that have the capability of doing all of these things. I'm going to lend my hand with it, with what I know how to do. Blah, 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 blah. But bring it together and communicate with the students, communicate with the different businesses, communicate with the different schools, communicate with you. This way we can make this world a better place. And we can give our students today not only something to strive for, but something that's going to make everything better. And I mean, it should make everything better. The schools will be better. The grades will be better because they're going to be more motivated to do. Those that are going to go to college are going to go to college for a reason. Those that are going to go to trade school are going to go to a trade school for a reason. Those that are entrepreneurs will be entrepreneurs. Those that be entrepreneurs will be entrepreneurs. Social benefits are massive. The economic benefits are massive. The difference you can make is massive. You should, and I hope you do, speak well, speak often, and live inspired.